So my zesty story is art, and especially collaborative art making, is a process that can achieve a lot of things. It can be healing when people have gone through trauma. It can help people to form positive relationships with others, whether it's making new friends or having an adult who's a mentor. It can help people also to come together who might have conflict. My name is Joel Bergner, and I am a mural artist. I specialize in murals that really bring together people from the community, kids, youth, family members, to come and express themselves all together. I think my first art was like very moody, very intense, super detailed. Like I would spend months on the same work of art, like just doing all these tiny details. At that time, when I was like 18, 19, 20, I was living in Chicago. But then I started to really get into, I loved street art and graffiti. And I ended up living in a Mexican community called Pilsen, where there was a lot of murals, graffiti, street art, all kinds of public art. And I loved that because I realized I could see that it was something that could connect with just everyone, just regular people. It could be a homeless guy, a small child, anyone coming by could enjoy that artwork and it could move them in some way. And so that's where I started to focus my art more on the murals instead of only on just work like in my own private space. One thing about art is that when you're going through a lot of struggles and you feel like life is chaotic and that you don't have control over it, art is like that one thing that you can control. In my 20s, I was a counselor for teenagers who were going through a lot of trauma and neglect and abuse, and they lived in this center and I was working with them. And one thing that I realized is that even though they could not focus on their schoolwork, they were going through a lot of emotional challenges, but the arts, whether it was drawing like it had been for me, or whether it was dance, or whether it was singing, music, the arts in general was what really allowed them to have a space. Just like when I was a teenager, right? Like this idea of I can focus on this thing, I have at least control over this, even if everything else is chaotic in my life. And I realized it wasn't just me, it's like everyone. Like this is a tool that can be used. And so that's when I started to realize this is the direction I want to go in, is not just doing my art on my own. I really want to bring in the community. I want to bring in these kids to the art making process.